Stacy, are you awake? I need your help. What is it? Is everything okay? Everything's all right. I need your advice. At midnight? If it isn't anything urgent, can't we discuss it tomorrow? It's semi-urgent. It's past midnight. The probationary period is officially up. I don't understand. Whose probationary period is up? I thought you were a permanent employee. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about the love trial. Love trial? Yes, the period of time I dedicate to determining whether or not a relationship is worth pursuing. Oh, I think I've heard of that. It's a 90-day period where you decide whether or not the relationship's going to become exclusive, right? Sure, something like that. Or maybe not. I'm confused. Just start from the beginning. As you know, I meticulously curate every aspect of my life. Naturally, that also includes my love life. A guy must pass a 4-year trial period before I consider pursuing a romantic relationship with him. That's usually enough time to give me a good idea about how compatible we'd be as a couple. He would need the patience of a saint to spend more than an hour in your presence. Come to think of it, are you sure 4 years is enough? Maybe you should increase that to 14 or 40, just in case. Answer me this, what's the best way of getting to know someone? I don't know, asking them a lot of questions? Wrong. It's not the carefully crafted answers that bring out someone's true character. It's observing them at their worst. The sooner I see them angry, sad, stressed, disappointed, etc., the sooner I can tell whether or not I should consider making them a permanent fixture in my life. God, Ella, you're unbelievable. What happens after they've been deemed worthy of your time? Do you ever come clean about treating them as less than human? What are you on about, less than human? I'm only observing them. Just like you're observing the man you're interested in for 4 years? It usually doesn't take that long, though. The only other guy who's managed to make it past the 3-hour mark lasted only 2 years. What happened after 2 years? We realized our priorities in life were misaligned. He wanted the perfect little nuclear family, and I couldn't stand the idea of getting married and wanted to get my tubes tied. Oh, yeah, I remember him. David, the young fogey. I'm surprised someone like him could last 2 years. What do you mean? You know exactly what I mean. He was positively insufferable. Insufferable? David's still a good friend of mine. We went out for brunch the other day. I even helped him pick out an engagement ring for his now fiancé. You did? And the guy you're interested in was totally cool with that? Of course. How very progressive of him. Well, it's not like we're in a relationship. Even if we were dating, that wouldn't be an issue. He knows I'm not the kind of person who'd betray his trust. Says who? I bet your obnoxious mind games only attract possessive men. Who else would bother to wait that long just so they might get a chance to date you? What a ludicrous suggestion. He's nothing like that. Perhaps you have him confused with one of those controlling brutes you've dated. Oh, so that's how it's going to be, okay. Thank you so much for bringing that up. That's not... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I swear, it just slipped out in the heat of the moment. You said that because you were irritated, angry, and a little stressed out, didn't you? According to your logic, wouldn't that make it a good indicator of your true feelings? That's different. It's not like we're strangers. We're family. We've known each other pretty much all our lives. You're such a massive hypocrite, and you have the nerve to look down on me. That's not true. When have I ever done that? Isn't it? My parents haven't criticized my life choices as much as my dear cousin. Stacy, are you really going to wear that? Are you really going to major in that? Are you really going to date that guy? I'm so sick and tired of your condescending remarks. I'd much prefer it if you were honest about your feelings. Go on, say that you think I'm beneath you in every conceivable way. I'm not going to do that. What's gotten into you? I only said those things because I was worried about you. I was just trying to prevent you from making the wrong decision. And who decides which decisions are wrong? You? What do I need to do for you to stop looking down on me? Should I just become a clone of you? No, of course not. No, let me try. You are in desperate need of sound relationship advice, Ella. Gather as much information as you can about the object of your affection. Send it to me, and I'll tell you whether or not he's worth pursuing. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. I never make mistakes. I'm right 99.99% of the time. Aren't I just perfect? That's quite enough. Was this childish outburst necessary? You could have relayed those feelings in a more civil way. Oh, now you disapprove of how I express my anger. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. Remember how I kept trying to change your mind when you said you never wanted to have children? I take it back. You've made a fantastic decision. Of course I know that. I always try to make carefully calculated decisions. That's why they rarely backfire. Is that so? It is. Okay, well, I'm sleepy. I have to go. But we're not done talking. I don't know about you, but I'm very much done with this conversation. Good night. Guess who's going on a date this evening? Huh? It's me. I am. Aren't you happy for me, Ella? Sure, but I wanted to apologize about yesterday. I really don't know how a simple request for advice escalated into a full-blown argument. Oh, that's water under the bridge. I know you didn't mean to be rude. I wouldn't make haste judgments about someone based on one bad conversation. Right, of course not. Besides, I'm too excited to hold grudges. About your date? Who is it? I'm asking purely out of curiosity. He's actually one of your coworkers. What? Really? Yes, really. I wonder if you can recognize him. Give me a sec, I'll look for his photo. Here you go. You've got to be kidding me. What's wrong? Do you not like him? Look how handsome he looks in that picture. When did you? I never told you his name. That's true, but you've discussed your preferences with me so many times that I've become quite skilled in recognizing potential targets of your affection. I found him on LinkedIn. What a great invention. But how can you be sure he's the one I was talking about? I wasn't before, but judging by your reaction, I must be right. Even if you were, so what? Having a photo of him doesn't mean you're going on a date. You can ask him if you'd like. I'm just saying it as it is. I'm not going to interrogate him. If you're lying, which you most likely are, I'm just going to look like a crazy person with no boundaries. If he wanted to share it with me, he would have done so. I assure you, I'm telling the truth. I just happened to run into him at a coffee shop across from your office. He was wearing a boring black overcoat, had an umbrella with him, ordered coffee, and didn't leave a tip. Does any of that sound familiar? Well, you aren't supposed to leave a tip. They have a separate service charge for that. It's so obvious that you've never worked in the service industry. Those charges usually go directly to the owners, not the server. That's why you should still tip. Why would you pay for the same service twice? Do you hate money? Do you? You've got a $3,000 espresso machine at home, which you refuse to use, and you're still getting stingy with tips? Could you get any more pretentious? I don't have enough time to clean the machine after every use, and I can't go to work knowing it's dirty. It's more convenient for me this way. Well, then give it to someone who'll appreciate it. I could use a coffee machine. No way, not gonna happen. If you want it so bad, save up and buy it yourself. Well, maybe I'll ask my date to get it for me. I'm sure he'll be thrilled about that. That is, if you really are meeting up with him. I get that it's hard for you to accept, but that's the truth. He's a grown man. If he wants to meet up with a beautiful lady he's known for a day, that's his prerogative. Don't tell me you're trying to control who he can and can't date. You're not even in a relationship, remember? You've got some dangerous possessive tendencies. I'm not trying to control anything. He can go out with whoever he pleases. I just don't believe you, that's all. Seeing you jealous like this, it's honestly kind of pathetic. Don't worry, how hard can it be to find someone new to obsess over? I never should have asked you for help. I guess that was one decision that backfired on you. I guess so. Well, good luck. Giving up already? What more is there for me to do? As you said, we aren't in a relationship. I haven't even confessed to him. Good, that's what I thought. I should start getting ready. I wouldn't want to be late on our first date. Sure. Bye. Bye. Hey Harvey, could you send me those market trend reports you mentioned during lunch earlier? Since I have some spare time, I thought I might as well review them and work on our TRM.
Sure, right away. You're planning on working on a Friday night? I wish I had your stamina. What's your secret, Ella?
You're giving me too much credit. I just ran out of pressure washing compilations to watch and got bored.
There's such a thing as pressure washing compilations?
You've never seen those videos? No pressure washing, no sandblasting, no laser cleaning?
No, I don't think so. They're on YouTube, right? I'll check them out.
Maybe another time. Those videos can be pretty addictive. I wouldn't want you to miss out on your Friday night plans.
There's no need to worry about that. I'm free all night.
Really? Are you sure you're not going out tonight?
I'm pretty sure it's been cold and raining all day. I'd much rather stay in.
I guess under these circumstances, one could probably just invite guests over to their house.
Sure, I suppose.
But their offer might get rejected if the other person doesn't know them too well, and their date could get canceled.
Right. Well, I'm sure you could just reschedule.
Who could reschedule?
You could. The weather should start to clear up from Tuesday.
Oh, okay, I'll keep that in mind. So you really have no plans for this evening?
Not really, no. Should I?
No. And just to make sure, were you at the coffee shop across from work this morning?
Yes, why?
Oh, I just found out a fun fact about it. Apparently some people tip them on top of paying the service charge.
Do they really? I didn't think that was necessary.
I guess they do, and they harshly judge anyone who doesn't.
Well, that's embarrassing. I wonder why they never said anything.
That's one mystery we need to get to the bottom of. We don't have to do it together, of course. We can maybe ask them separately. Would that be too weird?
Or one of us could ask and tell the other one.
Right, sorry, I'm not making any sense, am I? I've been trying to function on 2 hours of sleep all day. I hope it's not been that easy to tell. I thought I was being perfectly coherent. Cohesive? No, coherent was correct.
Only 2 hours? Is everything all right?
Sure, everything's fine. I got into a little argument last night and had trouble falling asleep. But it's nothing serious. Speaking of which, I should probably go deal with that right about now.
Right this moment? Shouldn't you at least try and get some sleep before that?
I want to put an end to it as soon as possible. If I lose sleep 2 nights in a row, my whole regime's going to get messed up.
All right, well, let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
Anything? So if I go and get into a fight, you'll come and fight alongside me?
Oh, I don't know about fighting, but I am willing to park nearby and call the police if things get out of hand. Alternatively, I could act as a getaway driver, whatever the situation requires.
Thank you. I'm so lucky to have you.
You're very welcome, but in all seriousness, stay safe.
I will. Did you lie to me? What do you mean? I just got done talking to Harvey. He said he never made plans with you. I'm asking you nicely. Could you please explain what's going on? Give me your espresso machine, and I'll tell you. Stacy, I'm being serious. Okay, fine. Last night, I was so mad. I stayed up all night drinking and going through hundreds of LinkedIn profiles until I found him. So I picked out an outfit I thought he might like, something you'd wear. I looked at potential meet-cute spots around your head office on the map. I thought he'd be so charmed he'd agree to go out on a date right away, and then I could rub it in your face. Writing all this out made me realize it might not have been as foolproof of a plan as drunk me thought it was. Yeah, I'll say. I waited all morning at that coffee shop pretending I was responding to my emails. As I was about to give up, I saw him. It all suddenly felt too real. I felt like I was some deranged stalker. I froze up and watched as he came in and left. And then I wrote to you, hoping you'd believe me. Oh my God, Stacy, what is wrong with you? You know I'd find out you were lying eventually, right? I know, I wasn't thinking clearly, but you have to understand. I lost my job. I can barely afford to pay my bills. The last guy I met up with tried to rob me in broad daylight. And there you were, complaining that your life is so hard because you had to confess to your crush. I didn't know any of that. Exactly, that's the problem. It's always me with you. It's all because you don't want to have to spend your precious time listening to someone else complain about their lives, isn't it? I don't recall ever saying something like that. Of course not. I guess remembering things about others is also too much of a chore for you. There's only ever been space for one person in your life, and that's you, Ella. I feel bad for Harvey and anybody else who sincerely wishes to get close to you. They're in for a rude awakening. That's enough. What exactly are you asking of me? Whenever I give you advice, I'm overstepping boundaries and being controlling. Whenever I keep quiet, I'm being uncaring and inattentive. I can never win, can I? Nobody ever forced you to listen to my issues. If you didn't want to talk, you could have just said so. I did. I said we should discuss it tomorrow. That's not the same thing. You just postponed it. And you pressed on anyway. I was clearly not in the mood. You could have left me alone. Even now, you can't apologize. Fine, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I should have stopped texting. I'm not flawless. I've never claimed to be. But you're a whole nother level of unhinged. If I'd known you were harboring such resentment towards me, I would have stopped contacting you ages ago. Well, it's better late than never, right? Congratulations, you can finally cut me out of your life. Because your mistakes are just that, mistakes, and mine are irredeemable, unforgivable crimes. Well, they could have been. How can you act like I'm the irrational one when you almost went full single white female on me? But I decided not to do it. Yeah, after stalking and tracking down a complete stranger, I can't put up with this. Not for my cousin, not for my friend, not for anyone. I want you to stop contacting me. From this day on, we're strangers to one another. I'm going to warn people at and around my workplace to keep an eye out for you. If you insist on showing up anyway, I'll call the cops. Do you not have a shred of empathy? I can't offer you empathy, but I can give you money and some advice. Forget cities with a high cost of living, move out as soon as possible. I'll give you the money to help you settle in a new place. I'll even throw in that coffee machine. I'm going to be reminded of you every time I glance at it anyway. Are you offering to pay me to get as far away from you as possible? Gosh, Ella, you really are ruthless. If you think I'm going to beg you to reconsider, you're sorely mistaken. I'll go rebuild my life elsewhere and you can keep being miserable in solitude. Deal. Hello, are you still there?
I am. Are you?
I think so.
How did the fight go? Did you come out victorious?
I don't think so, but neither did the other side, so it is what it is. Speaking of which, would you like me to tell you what happened?
I don't know. Is it an interesting story?
Interesting is a strong word. It's definitely a story. And it does involve you as well, so...
All right, I'm all ears.
So it all started yesterday, or rather, 4 years ago when we first met. That night, I ended up coming clean to Harvey about everything. He was more understanding than I imagined. I guess it's easier for a fellow planner to understand what led me to overanalyze everyone and everything around me. We're going out on a real date this Friday. Stacy moved out and got a job as a graphic designer. It looks like she really did get her life back together. I'm still unsure if I was too harsh on Stacy. I wonder what someone else might have done in my situation. Would they have forgiven her and welcomed her back into their life? I'd like to think I did my best to help her. I even parted with my coffee machine. Harvey and I decided to start tipping on top of paying the service charge. So far, no one's complained.